Galveston's a total vacation spot to me. I have total tourist point of view when I think about it, right? So this is a kind of a look at Galveston through that lens, the lens of someone who maybe doesn't live here but comes here and kind of sees the things going on. Like Dennis said, I studied at the New York Academy of Art. I studied traditional sculpting. I don't know if you can tell by looking around, but we learned how to make people using calipers 1-to-1, and I forgot it all as soon as I graduated, right? And I moved back to Houston as soon as I graduated because this is home no matter how hot it gets. And I was showing, right on cue. I was trying to show art in Houston, and it's not always easy. So during COVID, I had a lot of time. So me and my wife, we rented a booth, an antique booth, right? And we made little sculptures, mostly of women with food. That was the theme. I don't know if you noticed. The theme was women and food. And a luau lady with a taco. So I was making those, hoping something would happen. Dennis came for a studio visit. I tried to show him some serious work. He didn't seem that impressed. When he went to the garage and he saw the food ladies, he was impressed, right? Yeah, he left with one, and I was like, oh, I should have just started with that, right? So he mentioned the causeway, and I've driven over the causeway a lot. I have my own thoughts about it. The thing I've always noticed, and I don't know how people in Galveston feel, but I always notice the Texas City plant. So I try to recreate that. And then as soon as you get into Galveston, I always notice the really colorful beach houses. So I tried to recreate that and all the things you see in between. Now we had talked about putting cars on fire, but I couldn't quite get it to work. I tried several things. And then the thing that I remember as a kid is the seawall. So I was like, well, I have to make a seawall. So I made one over here. When I was a kid, my dad would actually drive on the seawall, right? He would act like he was gonna drive off, and then he would go down. So that influence, that's why I have it leaning at a curve. I just remember that feeling of falling when I look at it. And after that, I was like, what else is there in Galveston? The pier I decided to make because me and my brother take our nephews fishing there. I've been fishing there my whole life. Then the pleasure pier I've never been to, but I used to go to a lot when it was called the Flagship Hotel, right? Some of my earliest memories are looking over the balcony. It was all balconies and you could see the water coming in. I remember seeing surfers on there, which influenced some of this work. And then I was working in Clear Creek when Dennis asked me to do this. And I was coming to Galveston once a week to volunteer at the Ronald McDonald House. And I kept stopping at Buc-ee's. So I decided if I'm going to recreate Galveston, I have to recreate Buc-ee's. I think might not be on the island, but it's part of the island because anybody from the mainland is going to stop there on their way.
That was Bryan Keith Gardner talking about his latest exhibition, Bridges, Walls, and Water, now on view at the Galveston Art Center from August 26th to November 12th, 2023. You can learn more about this exhibition and the Galveston Art Center at galvestonartcenter.org.